Fodder Ninja. In Naruto, the term Fodder Ninjas usually points to nameless background shinobi who are only around to fill space in battles. These are the guys who rush in with a group, get one-shotted, and disappear without leaving a mark. They rarely have backstories, special jutsu, or any role in the plot other than making someone else look strong. Konoha ninjas in crowd scenes, squads wiped out during invasions, or those who crumble instantly when the villains show up. A good example is the Pain invasion. Countless shinobi fought to defend the village, but most of them were defeated instantly by Pain's abilities. The Fourth Great Ninja War takes this to an even bigger scale, with wave after wave of nameless fighters in the Shinobi Alliance dropping before major characters. The 4th Division's performance against the 2nd Mizukage and the 3rd Raikage was genuinely painful to watch. Yes, these are legendary Kage level opponents, but the execution was frustrating. Half the shinobi just stood around looking lost while their comrades got demolished. What made it worse was watching them repeatedly fail against the 2nd Mizukage despite him literally explaining his jutsu and how to counter it. He's standing there giving them a step-by-step tutorial on defeating him, yet they still couldn't adapt their strategy effectively. The moment where they sheepishly retrieved their weapons after attacking his obvious genjutsu clone, which he had just warned them about, was particularly cringeworthy. Like, these are supposed to be seasoned ninja in the middle of a war, not some kids who just graduated from the academy. Even random guards and patrol squads fall into this category, since their purpose is to be bypassed or defeated to highlight another character's skill. The anime also has plenty of one-off villains who are basically fodder. These guys show up in filler arcs, throw around some basic jutsu, and then get defeated in an episode or two without leaving any impact. What's interesting is that even the Anbu, who were introduced as this terrifying elite force, slowly slid into the same role. The Anbu are covert operatives, supposedly some of the most skilled shinobi in a village, answering directly to the leader. They don't follow the usual rank system and are chosen based on merit and experience. At first, they were portrayed as highly competent, with characters like Kakashi, Itachi, Yamato, and Sai giving the group an aura of mystery and superiority. These were shinobi you were supposed to take seriously, but as the story went on, the hype faded. During the Konoha Crush, the Anbu could have been showcased as the village's trump card, but all they really did was stand back and narrate while the 3rd Hokage fought Orochimaru. During Pain's invasion, their contribution boiled down to handling a few summons from the animal path. Most of their appearances are like this, background involvement that never matched the reputation built around them. A few Anbu members did get a spotlight, like Fu and Torune, who served as Danzo's personal guards during the 5 Kage Summit. They put up a fight against Obito in a 2-on-1 battle, but even then they didn't stand a chance. Compared to legends like Itachi or Kakashi, everyone else in the Anbu looked weak, and the group became little more than a tool to measure the power of new villains. Whenever a villain defeated a squad of Anbu easily, it was meant to instantly show how dangerous they were. The Anbu ended up as fodder with mask, and it's not just faceless shinobi. Even named characters sometimes got the same treatment. Team Shigure, the Umbrella guys, were basically designed to be wiped out by Gaara's sand coffin. And don't even get me started on Udon Ise. This dude literally sneezed more than he fought in the original series, and somehow that's still what people remember him for most. When it comes to actual ninja stuff, he's basically just background decoration. No cool jutsu, no badass moments, zero character growth. He's like that one friend who always hangs around but never actually contributes anything useful. Then in Boruto, they randomly made him a Jonin and we're all supposed to be like, oh wow, character development. But seriously, what has this guy ever accomplished? His signature move is basically snot bending because he's always got a runny nose. Like, yeah, he's got drip alright, just not the cool kind. But even characters with impressive jutsu weren't safe from this treatment. And honestly, Mizuki definitely belongs in the complete fodder pile too. Like, Naruto beat this guy before he was even officially a ninja. And the dude was supposed to be an academy instructor, which is just embarrassing. Even when he got the curse mark boost from Orochimaru, he still got defeated by Naruto. Tenten is another clear example. She has a unique skill set as a weapon specialist and even managed to take out Kakuzu's lightning heart with the Basho Sen. But despite this, her role across the series is minimal, and her abilities rarely shine in big battles. Many fans consider her one of the most underused characters, which makes her come off as fodder in comparison to the rest of her peers. Whether it's nameless shinobi in the background or named characters who never get their full due, the series is full of examples where someone's only role is to be a stepping stone. Naruto builds its strongest moments around the power of its main cast and villains, and sometimes that means everyone else ends up being nothing more than cannon fodder. Genin. Genin are the lowest ranked shinobi, and they're also the group with the widest gap in ability. To even get to that point, every aspiring ninja has to pass through the academy. Students are considered real ninja until they graduate, and the process involves both classroom work and hands-on training. They're drilled in martial arts, basic weapon skills with kunai and shuriken, and fundamentals of chakra control. They also learn entry-level jutsu like the transformation and clone techniques, though the exact curriculum varies depending on the village. Graduation isn't about mastering every lesson perfectly. Students just need to show that they're competent enough to function as a Genin. Naruto is the clearest example of this. He couldn't handle the clone technique, an E-rank skill, but managed to pull off a much harder shadow clone technique, which let him pass. Rock Lee is another case. He had no talent for ninjutsu or genjutsu, but his taijutsu ability carried him through. The graduation process usually ends with both a written exam and a practical one, overseen by a Chunin instructor. Those who succeed earn their forehead protector, a visible symbol that they made it into the ranks of shinobi. But even after that, they're not official Genin yet. They're placed in the three-man squads under a Jonin leader who must complete a final field evaluation. Teams are built to balance skills. Naruto, who scored the lowest, was paired with Sasuke, who had the highest practical grades, and Sakura, who topped the written exam. Their test came in the form of Kakashi's Bell Challenge, which was designed to measure teamwork rather than raw ability. Passing the step isn't guaranteed. Kakashi mentioned that back when he was tested, only 9 out of 27 graduates advanced, putting the failure rate at about 66%. Naruto's team, Team 7, didn't manage to grab the bells, but their teamwork was enough to convince Kakashi to let them through. Once students are officially promoted, they start contributing to their village's economy by completing missions. Most Genin are assigned D-rank jobs, which are simple, low-risk tasks like finding pets or farming assistants. Occasionally, they're given C-rank missions, which involve a bit more danger and usually include escort duties or small skirmishes. Team 7's early run is a good example. They spent time on D-rank chores before Kakashi accepted Tezuna's request to escort him to the Land of Waves, a mission that escalated into a real battle. After proving themselves there, Kakashi believed that they were ready for the Chunin exams. The exam is the main path for Genin to rise to rank in Chunin, but as history shows, Team 7 didn't make it through. Naruto never got another shot afterwards, which means that he remained a Genin for the rest of the series. Even so, ranks in Naruto don't always match actual ability. Despite never officially moving up, Naruto eventually became Hokage. He even admitted to Team 5 that he was still a Genin at the time of his appointment, since circumstances kept him from taking the exam again. With that being said, no other character embodies the Genin label more than Naruto himself. Even while stuck at the lowest rank, his feats eclipse almost every other shinobi in the series. He masters Sage Mode, gains complete control over Kurama, and later inherits Six-Path Sage Mode from Hagoromo Otsutsuki. With that power, he fights Madara, goes head-to-head with Sasuke, and plays the central role in bringing the Fourth Great Ninja War to its end. His great accomplishment is teaming with Sasuke to seal Kaguya Otsutsuki, saving the entire world from collapse. By the end of the series, Naruto is both the strongest shinobi of his time and the one who finally brings peace to the ninja world, all while never advancing beyond the rank of Genin.
Gamer Sups is an energy and nootropic formula designed to be a healthier, cheaper, and more effective beverage over energy drinks for gamers or the modern anime weeb on the go. Its blend of essential vitamins, caffeine, and nootropics provide a consistent boost with no jitters and no crash. It has 0 sugar, less than 1 carb, and less than 1 calorie per serving, so it's keto and diabetic safe. Plus, there's sugar-free options. I personally drink it all the time to be able to grind out these straight-to-the-point and informative videos for you guys, and they'll likely be the only sponsor you'll ever see on this channel. So help the channel stay mostly sponsor-free by clicking the link in our description, picking from the many tasty and uniquely named flavors on the website, and use our code ANIMEX at checkout to save 10% on your order. It would be a huge help for us. Also, pick yourself up a aesthetically interesting waifu cup while you're at it too. They're collectible. But anyway.
Chunin. Chunin are ninja who prove that they are more than just fighters. This rank highlights maturity, leadership, and tactical skill, making them capable of leading squads or making sharp calls in the middle of missions. Their assignments usually involve C-rank or B-rank missions. C-rank missions cover things like escorting clients or dealing with dangerous animals, while B-rank assignments push further into spying, assassination, and jobs that require serious stealth and strategy. There are 2 ways for a Genin to become a Chunin. They can either be directly promoted by their village leader or go through the Chunin exams, which are held twice a year to accommodate the growing number of shinobi. Back in the day, each village hosted their own exams, but after the Third Great Ninja War, the major villages decided to unify the process. By holding joint exams in a designated host village, they not only tested their Genin, but also strengthened political ties and created opportunities for outsiders to recognize promising shinobi they might want to hire. Passing the exams grants the right to wear the Chunin flag jacket, a vest designed to carry scrolls and gear. It's not mandatory, but it's one of the clearest signs of the promotion. More than just strength, the exams focus on intelligence, survival instincts, teamwork, and adaptability. The structure isn't fixed either. Villages keep the format changing so no team can walk in fully prepared. At the start of Part 1, Konoha hosts the second exam of the year. The first stage, led by Ibiki Morino, is a written test. On the surface, it looks like a normal exam with 10 questions, but 9 of them are so difficult most Genin can't solve them. The actual objective is to figure out how to cheat without being caught. Ibiki places skilled shinobi among the candidates to make copying possible, but getting caught 5 times means instant disqualification for the entire team. The trick is to push Genin into problem solving under pressure. Correct answers aren't even the main goal. You could technically pass without answering anything. The real turning point is the 10th question. Candidates are told that if they attempt it and fail, they can never take the exams again. If they quit before hearing the question, they can reapply in the future. This was designed to measure resolve. Naruto's refusal to back down encourages every other Genin to stay, leading to an unusually high number of 26 teams moving on to the next stage. The second stage, handled by Anko Mitarashi, takes place in the Forest of Death. Each team is given either a Heaven Scroll or an Earth Scroll and must reach the central tower within 5 days while collecting the opposite scroll. How they get it is left up to them, fighting, trading, or strategizing. The forest itself is filled with natural dangers, and no outside help is available, so teams sign waivers accepting the risk. Carrying both scrolls still isn't enough to pass. The team must also make it to the tower within the time limit. Because of this, teams often camp near the tower either to ambush others or to whittle down competition. Opening a scroll early is forbidden, and breaking this rule summons a high-ranking ninja who immediately knocks everyone unconscious. Since too many teams usually survive the Forest of Death, preliminary one-on-one battles are held in the next phase. Only the winners move on, and from this point forward, success no longer depends on teammates. A month-long break separates the preliminaries from the finals, giving participants time to recover and train. The break also allows matchups to spread publicly, attracting more attention to the tournament. The finals are one-on-one battles, but winning isn't the only factor in promotion. Judges are looking for qualities like intelligence, leadership, and composure. Shikamaru Nar demonstrates this perfectly. He surrenders to Tamari in his first match, but his ability to analyze, control the flow of battle, and make rational decisions under pressure earns him the promotion. Even with the exams cut short by the Konoha Crush, Shikamaru is acknowledged as the only one who truly showed the essence of a Chunin. Immediately following his promotion to Chunin, Shikamaru was tasked with leading the Sasuke recovery team, a hastily assembled squad whose mission was to prevent Sasuke's defection to Odogakure. Given the authority to recruit available Genin for this critical operation, Shikamaru assembled a team consisting of Naruto, Neji, Kiba, and Choji to carry out the rescue mission. Shikamaru's growth after promotion backs this up. He develops his clan shadow imitation and shadow neck binding techniques to higher levels, eventually learning to manipulate his shadow independently off surfaces. He combines them with tools like Asuma's chakra blades, giving him more reach and precision. Despite his reputation as a lazy student in the academy, he proves his talent by taking on opponents like Tayuya of the Sound 4 and later orchestrating Hidan's defeat in Part 2. His tactical mind earns him major responsibilities, from Deputy Commander of the 4th Division to Chief Strategist of the entire allied shinobi forces, and eventually becoming the right-hand man of the 7th Hokage. Other Genin in his graduating class eventually earned their promotions as well later in the series. Sakura and Rock Lee became Chunin during the 3-year time skip, while Gaara rises to the rank before taking on the role of Kazekage. Some Chunin, like Iruka Umino and Shino Aburame, shift into teaching roles at the academy, passing on their knowledge to the next generation. Jonin. Jonin are some of the most skilled and experienced ninja in the world, often serving as military captains. Their abilities are considered to be far beyond the average shinobi, and most of them can use at least 2 elemental chakra natures. Unlike lower-ranked shinobi, who usually operate in groups, Jonin are often trusted to take on missions alone. Their assignments usually involve A-rank missions, which are extremely dangerous and often tied to the political or military interests of a village. When they've proven themselves capable enough, they can even be sent on S-rank missions, which are the highest paying and most dangerous task a shinobi can undertake. These involve jobs like assassinating high-profile targets, transporting top-secret intel, or hunting down notorious S-class criminals such as the Akatsuki. Promotion to Jonin isn't as straightforward as advancing through earlier ranks. A shinobi can be recommended for the role, and if both villagers and the current Kage agree that the candidate is suitable, they are promoted. In the anime, another path exists in the form of the Jonin exams, though these aren't always emphasized in the manga. Once promoted, Jonin are often assigned to oversee a 3-man Genin squad. They're responsible for training their team, guiding them through the missions, and deciding when they're ready to participate in the Chunin exams. Among all the Jonin in Naruto, Kakashi Hatake stands out the most. He becomes the leader of Team 7, taking Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura under his guidance. Known as Kakashi of the Sharingan and the Copy Ninja, he is regarded as one of Konoha's most talented shinobi. Despite his personal dislike for responsibility, he's constantly relied upon for advice and leadership. With his students, he places special importance on teamwork, a lesson passed down from his childhood friend Obito Uchiha, who also gave him the Sharingan. Kakashi's abilities covered nearly every area of shinobi skills. He's proficient in all three main categories of ninja arts, and is known for excelling in comparison to other specialists. His intelligence surpasses even Shikamaru's, his sense of smell is sharper than Kiba's, his Sharingan use is more refined than Sasuke's, and his taijutsu is sharper than Rock Lee's, despite each of those shinobi being highly respected in their own right. Originally, Kakashi's chakra reserves were only average, which limited him to using techniques like Lightning Cutter 4 times or Kamui 3 times a day. To make up for it, he developed excellent chakra control, performing techniques with minimal waste and even executing them with one hand. By part 2, his reserves grew considerably, allowing him to use these techniques multiple times in prolonged battles with only mild fatigue. His taijutsu is versatile and deadly. His time in the Anbu gives him the ability to appear behind enemies without notice, and his speed and precision lets him overwhelm multiple opponents head-on. He's also able to open at least one of the 8 gates, further increasing his close combat options. Ninjutsu, however, is his strongest area. Even as a student, he excelled far beyond his peers, mastering advanced techniques like the multiple shadow clone. Over time, he collects a vast arsenal of ninjutsu, aided by the Sharingan, which earns him the reputation of having copied over 1,000 techniques. This is where his Copy Ninja title comes from. Later in his life, he even developed skill in medical ninjutsu, able to ease pain with just a touch. He also has a loyal pack of ninkin that he raised from puppies. He summons them for tracking, message delivery, or to hold down enemies. His elemental mastery is another sign of his versatility. He can use all 5 basic chakra natures along with yin and yang release. His water release is strong enough to generate large techniques without needing a nearby water source, and his earth release allows him to burrow underground or create defensive walls to protect entire areas. Years after the 4th Great Ninja War, he developed the ability to convert earth release into quartz, which strengthens his durability and cancels out lightning-based weaknesses by absorbing attacks. He can also use fire release for large-scale offense, while his natural affinity lies with lightning release. After struggling to combine lightning chakra with the Rasengan, he creates the Chidori, concentrated lightning in his hand to pierce nearly any defense. This technique is later refined into the Lightning Cutter, famously known for splitting a bolt of lightning. By the time he becomes Hokage, Kakashi develops a new signature move, Lightning Release, Purple Electricity, which lets him project or channel purple lightning in different ways, either at range, in melee, or as a full area blast. His Sharingan is one of his defining traits throughout the series. Though it initially limits his stamina, he becomes a master at using it, even unlocking the Mangekyo Sharingan, which grants him access to Kamui. After losing the eye in the war, he temporarily gains access to both Obito's Mangekyo, enhanced by 6 Paths Chakra. This lets him wield them without the usual drawbacks of exhaustion or blindness. With dual Mangekyo, he manifests the complete body Susanoo, one of the strongest forms of the technique. While Kakashi is the most prominent Jonin, he isn't the only noteworthy one. His longtime rival, Might Guy, pushes taijutsu to its absolute limits by mastering all 8 gates. In the 4th Great Ninja War, Guy nearly kills Madara Uchiha with his devastating Evening Elephant and Night Guy attacks. After the war, other familiar faces also rise to the rank of Jonin, including Shikamaru, Sakura, Rock Lee, and Konohamaru, each continuing their own paths as elite shinobi. In Konohagakure, the voice of the Jonin carries a lot of weight, especially when it comes to selecting a new Hokage. Within their ranks, there's also a special position known as Jonin Commander. The Jonin Commander acts as the representative of the regular shinobi forces and holds a seat on the village council. This means that they don't just fight on the battlefield, they have a say in major decisions that affect the entire village, including the choice of Hokage. Even though the title is above standard Jonin in terms of authority, it's still considered part of the Jonin rank. The last known person to hold this position was Shikaku Nara, the head of the Nara clan and Shikamaru's father. In Kumogakure, there is a similar role called Head Ninja, which functions much the same way. Not every skilled shinobi fits the mold of a full-fledged Jonin, though. Some are specialists who excel in one field, but don't have the broad range of abilities expected of a typical Jonin. These ninjas are classified as Tokubetsu Jonin, or Special Jonin. They're like elite experts brought in for very specific roles, and when their skill set is needed, they often work alongside or under regular Jonin. Because their talents are so focused, they're sometimes seen as the lower ranked than full Jonin, but in their specialty, they're unmatched. A good example is Ibiki Morino, whose expertise lies in interrogation. He understands human psychology so thoroughly that he can break down a person's will without ever laying a hand on them. His methods are so effective that when Kisame Hoshigaki realized Ibiki would be the one conducting an interrogation, he killed his entire Cypher Division squad just to stop them from giving away secrets. That's how feared Ibiki's reputation was. Other notable special Jonin include Ibisu, who was handpicked by Kakashi to help train Naruto during the Chunin exams, and Aoba Yamashiro, who specializes in extracting information directly from a person's mind. Even though they're technically specialists, special Jonin are still skilled enough to take on leadership roles. Some have even been tasked with leading Genin teams, showing that their expertise doesn't prevent them from taking on broader responsibilities when the situation calls for it. Rogue Ninja. Missing nin or rogue ninja are shinobi who abandon their villages with no plans of returning. The moment they walk away, they're branded criminals. Even if they hadn't committed crimes before, desertion alone seals their fate. What makes them especially dangerous is the knowledge they carry, whether it's classified intel, secret training methods, unique herbs, or even rare abilities like Keki Genkai. If that information leaks, it can compromise an entire village. That's why missing nin are recorded in their village's bingo book, with a kill on sight order. Kirigakure takes this especially seriously, employing 100 nin whose job is to track down and eliminate defectors. Some missing nin keep their old forehead protectors, but their loyalty is long gone. Many, like the Akatsuki, scar their headbands with scratches to mark their rejection of their former homes. Some of the most infamous names in the series fall into this category, cheating Madara Uchiha and most Akatsuki members. Madara's case sets the tone. After losing to Hashirama, he faked his death with Izanagi and disappeared. This was after he uncovered the Uchiha Stone Tablet, secretly altered by Black Zetsu, which pushed him forward towards a dangerous conclusion. True peace could only come by forcing humanity into a dream world through an ultimate genjutsu, the Eye of the Moon plan. Over decades, Madara carefully prepared. He gave his Rinnegan to a child named Nagato, saved the dying Obito, and turned him into his pawn. Using Ren's death to break Obito emotionally, he entrusted him with his plan and even Black Zetsu, ensuring his name would live on. Even after death, Madara wasn't finished. Kabuto revived him during the 4th Great Ninja War, where he single-handedly crushed entire armies, dropped meteorites, and fought all 5 Kage at once. Not satisfied, he later revived himself for real, reclaimed the Rinnegan, captured the Tail Beast, and became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. His infinite Tsukuyomi plan was seconds away from success when Black Zetsu betrayed him, revealing Madara was nothing more than a pawn for Kaguya Otsutsuki's return. Obito's story follows a similar path of defection. Under the name Tobi, he manipulated events from the shadows, carrying out Madara's Eye of the Moon plan. He eventually became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki and nearly unstoppable, but Naruto, Sasuke, and the allied shinobi forces managed to break through to him. Realizing his mistake, he tried to make amends by reviving everyone who died, but Black Zetsu took control of his body and forced him to bring back Madara instead. Obito regained control just long enough to help Naruto and give Kakashi his Mangekyo Sharingan. With it, Kakashi unleashed a perfect Susanoo and joined the battle against Kaguya. Obito gave his life, saving his comrades, and in death, finally reunited with Rin. Then there's Itachi, branded a traitor after striking a deal with Danzo and Tobi that led to the Uchiha's clan's massacre. His motives, however, weren't betrayal, but protection. He destroyed his clan to prevent a coup and save Sasuke out of love. Leaving the village, he bore the title of Missing Nin, joining Akatsuki not to turn against Konoha, but to monitor its movements while secretly guarding the village from the shadows. He kept watch over Sasuke, guided his growth indirectly, and even placed a hidden safeguard inside Naruto through genjutsu. All the while, Itachi fought through a terminal illness, keeping himself alive with medicine and sheer will until Sasuke was strong enough to face him. Their long-awaited battle ended with Itachi's death, partly because of his condition. During the time Sasuke was itching to take down Itachi, he realized he needed more strength and powers to do that. In a desperate move, he accepted Orochimaru's offer for a chance to get stronger. He left Konoha and became a missing nin since then. He trained under Orochimaru for 2.5 years, then turned on his master, rejected his ideals, and formed Team Hebi, later renamed Team Taka. His first goal was avenging Itachi, which ended with the battle that revealed the truth. From there, Sasuke threw himself into revenge against Konoha, joining Akatsuki missions, battling Killer Bee, fighting the Kage, and hunting down Danzo. His hatred consumed him so completely that he almost killed Sakura and abandoned everyone who cared for him. The 4th Great Ninja War forced a turning point. Reunited with a resurrected Itachi, Sasuke got answers that changed his perspective. Hearing the stories of the Hokage, watching Naruto's determination, and learning from the Sage of Six Paths opened his eyes. He fought alongside Naruto to help seal Kaguya, but afterwards, he made his own decision to become the world's judge by killing the Kage, controlling the tailed beast, and enforcing his vision of peace. Naruto opposed him, leading to their final brutal battle. Both were left battered and armless, but Sasuke finally understood. After the war, he refused to take a new arm and chose a path of atonement, traveling the world and protecting peace from the shadows. Leaving a village doesn't automatically turn someone into a missing nin. Tsunade, for example, walked away from the shinobi life after the Second Great Ninja War and left Konoha, but the village never branded her as one. Jiraiya later warns her that if she ever sided with Orochimaru, who was openly an enemy of the village, then her status would change, and he would have no choice but to stop her. Roshi from Iwagakure is another case. He left the village to train and gain better control over Son Goku, the four tails sealed inside of him. Even though this meant Iwagakure lost a massive military asset, he wasn't labeled a missing nin. On the flip side, being branded a missing nin doesn't always mean their village actively hunts them down. Itachi was declared one after the Uchiha clan massacre, but his defection was an order from Konoha higher-ups. Most of the village believed that he was a traitor, but the leadership secretly knew he was still loyal. Sasuke's case is another complicated example. When he defected from Konoha, the 5th Hokage chose not to treat him as a criminal out of respect for Naruto. Later, when Danzo briefly became the 6th Hokage candidate, that leniency was revoked. Sasuke was then marked for execution, partly due to his actions against Kumogakure. In the end, his role in the 4th Great Ninja War and Kakashi's recommendation as 6th Hokage earned him a pardon for all his past crimes. After the war, missing nin activity increased across the continent. Many shinobi abandoned their villages, some feeling that their way of life was under threat, others chasing their own interests. Unlike before, these missing nin became more ruthless, even willing to kill the clients who hired them if it meant getting a better deal elsewhere. Sannin. The Sannin are 3 legendary shinobi from Konoha, remembered as the strongest of their era. This trio includes Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya. Back when they were still Genin, the 3 trained under the 3rd Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Like many students, they faced the bell test. Jiraiya, being reckless, kept falling for Hiruzen's traps and failed to get a bell, ending up tied to a stump as punishment. Under Hiruzen's guidance, the 3 picked up the summoning technique, each developing their own unique contracts. Tsunade, the granddaughter of the 1st Hokage, formed a pact with slugs and later revolutionized the role of medical ninja by creating a full set of rules that became the standard system across the shinobi world. Orochimaru, hailed as the prodigy of his generation, made his contract with snakes and later turned to forbidden jutsu in pursuit of immortality and mastery of every technique in existence. Jiraiya, infamous as both a hermit and a pervert, forged his bond with toads and went to become a shinobi of remarkable skill. Even though they were a team, their personalities constantly clash. Tsunade herself once described them as being locked in a 3-way deadlock. Once they were strong enough to stand on their own, the team disbanded. The story didn't end there though. During the Second Great Ninja War, the 3 fought side by side again. In one battle against Hanzo of the Salamander and Amagakure, they were the only Konoha shinobi to survive. Impressed, Hanzo gave them the title that stuck for life, the legendary Sannin. But that battle also marked the end of their time fighting as a united group. Jiraiya chose to stay behind in Ame, feeling the need to atone for the destruction of war. Tsunade, devastated by the losses and horror she experienced, abandoned the ninja life altogether and left Konoha. Orochimaru, meanwhile, began indulging in darker experiments, eventually becoming a criminal and defecting from the village. Branded a missing nin, he left for good. Jiraiya attempted to bring him back, failed, and took it upon himself to keep track of Orochimaru's activities. His self-appointed mission often kept him away from Konoha for long stretches. Over the years, Jiraiya became a mentor to several influential figures. He trained the Ame orphans, Yahiko, Konin, and Nagato, then later became the teacher of Minato Namikaze and his team, and eventually Naruto Uzumaki. Each of the Sannin, because of their strength and reputation, was considered for the title of Hokage at one point or another. When Hiruzen prepared to step down, Orochimaru put himself forward as the candidate for the 4th Hokage. Hiruzen rejected him, believing Orochimaru lacked the values a Hokage should have. Instead, Minato was chosen for his performance in the 3rd Great Ninja War. That decision stung Orochimaru deeply, especially since Minato was Jiraiya's student. His bitterness pushed him even further down the path of resentment and defection. After Minato's death, Hiruzen returned to the office as the 3rd Hokage once more. He had hoped Jiraiya would succeed him as the 5th Hokage, but Jiraiya couldn't be found. Years later, after Hiruzen's death, the council again offered Jiraiya the position. He turned it down, claiming he wasn't suited for it, and suggested Tsunade instead. She initially resisted, but was eventually convinced, officially becoming the 5th Hokage. During Pain's assault on Konoha, Tsunade ended up in a coma from overexertion. At that time, the Land of Fire daimyo remarked that Jiraiya would have been his choice for 6th Hokage, but Jiraiya was already gone. He had died during his investigation of Pain, but not before uncovering critical intel that played a major role in Pain's eventual defeat. Kage. Kage is the title given to the leader of one of the 5 great shinobi villages. Together, they're called the 5 Kage. A Kage is responsible for overseeing everything in their village, assigning missions, making political choices, and protecting their people. They're usually the strongest shinobi their village has to offer, which is why the title carries so much weight across the continent. The very first Kage was Hashirama Senju. After forming Konoha Gakure, the people of his village and country elected him as leader, officially making him the first Hokage. His system of leadership was praised by other nations, and soon every hidden village adopted the same model. That's how the other titles came to be: Hokage for Konoha, Kazekage for Tsunagakure, Mizukage for Kirigakure, Raikage for Kumogakure, and Tsuchikage for Iwagakure. Since their main duty is to focus on their own village, Kage rarely interact with each other. The exceptions are treaty signings, public events, or the Kage Summit. These summits are rare but crucial, as they bring all 5 leaders together to discuss issues that affect the entire shinobi world. How someone becomes Kage depends on the village. In Konoha, the Hokage typically chooses a successor before stepping down. If the Hokage dies or is unable to choose one, the Land of Fire daimyo steps in. He consults with a committee that includes Konoha's elders, the Jonin commander, and a representative of the Yanbu, and the decision still has to be approved by the village's Jonin. In Kumogakure, succession can be decided much easier. After the death of the 3rd Raikage, his son automatically took the position, becoming the 4th Raikage. Retired Kage keep their title for life. They often stay involved by advising the current leader, and in emergencies they can even come back into office. This is what happened when Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage who returned after Minato Namikaze sacrificed his life to save Konoha. Since no one else was ready or willing to take the role of 5th Hokage, Hiruzen picked up the responsibility again until Tsunade finally accepted the role and became the 5th Hokage. Being a Kage doesn't mean immunity from criticism though. Hiruzen was often looked down on by his own council for being too willing to negotiate rather than use force. Gaara's appointment as the 5th Kazekage faced backlash from the more corrupt members of Tsunagakure's council, who doubted him because of his past as a Jinchuriki. The most extreme case was the 4th Mizukage, who ruled Kirigakure with fear and cruelty. His reign caused so much unrest that his people demanded his execution, and many shinobi either defected or even attempted to assassinate him. Jinchuriki themselves were often tied directly to a Kage's bloodline. This was a tradition meant to ensure loyalty and demonstrate strength of the ruling family. Killer Bee is the adopted brother of the 4th Raikage, while Gaara is the son of the 4th Kazekage. In Konoha, Hokage's inauguration is a big deal, drawing in almost the entire village to celebrate. During the ceremony, the new Hokage receives a special haori, and fun fact, the same woman has embroidered the haori for all Hokage so far. After taking on the role, their face gets carved into the Hokage rock, marking their place in history. They also usually move into the Hokage residence, with their office set up in the administrative wing of the academy. For Naruto, the dream of becoming Hokage was everything. At first, he wanted the title for recognition, to finally earn the respect he was denied as a child. That dream gave him the motivation to create his own Nindo, never going back on his word. This belief shaped him as a person and carried him through every struggle, including his vow to bring Sasuke back. As he grew, his view of the Hokage title evolved. It stopped being about acknowledgement and about protecting his village and the people close to him. Through countless battles and personal losses, he earned recognition not just from Konoha, but from the entire shinobi world. He was one of the key figures in winning the 4th Great Ninja War, and by the end of it, he achieved his lifelong dream of becoming the 7th Hokage, succeeding Kakashi, who had served as the 6th Hokage. Life as Hokage, however, was far from easy. The responsibilities of leading Konoha often kept him away from his family. Part of the struggle came from his own past. He grew up without a father and admitted that he wasn't sure how to properly interact with his children. At times, he was more reliable as a Hokage than as a parent. Even so, he deeply loved his family. He used shadow clones to balance time between duties and home, stood ready to protect them when danger came, and showed genuine pride in his children's growth. When he later disappeared and was believed dead, his advisor, Shikamaru, stepped up as the 8th Hokage on a provisional basis, keeping the village stable in his absence.